first musical thing that really grabbed me was when I saw Michael J. Fox's performance in Back to the Future. And at that moment, I knew I had to play guitar.
All right, guys, listen to this blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Ghazarian on guitar. I mean, he's a technician. He reminds me a lot of Barry in a lot of ways, going back to our very first guitar player, Barry Blair. I mean, just a real technician on the guitar. And you know him best from SuperChick. He was also in Church of Rhythm and some other bands back in the day.
Well, the first connection to Audio Adrenaline was on the campus of Ohio State, just because I was a guitar player at our local, Campus Crusade chapter there, and played Big House. I mean, that was a favorite. We probably played it like every week. That was like the finale every night. So that was the first exposure to Audio Adrenaline. The next exposure was honestly when I joined Church of Rhythm. We started doing tours, and that was about the time when Audio Adrenaline was touring with DC Talk, and they had, during the Jesus Freak tour. So I remember seeing that tour, which as a new, probably the first few months of being a touring musician, just going, man, what any guitar player would do to be in either one of those bands.
I went after Dave Ghazarian after seeing him on a YouTube video.
Kevin brought Dave to the table. I saw videos of Dave, and I remember Dave playing. I'm like, wow, he's killer on stage. A great showman. But for me, it was important to get the right chemistry together, and I was able to talk to a lot of people that had him on the stage and touring with him, and consistently everybody was like, he's got a pastor's heart. He's like, this guy has the real deal. I
got a call out of the blue. I'm about to have dinner with my wife, and Kevin Max introduced himself on the phone, and I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, my name is Kevin Max, and I'm like, oh, you don't need an introduction, I know who you are. So he just kind of pitched me on this whole idea of putting Audio Adrenaline back together with him as the lead singer. And instantly in my mind, I'm like, man, how many years do I remember thinking, how cool would it be to be the guitar player for Audio Adrenaline, And I'm sure a lot of guitar players think the same thing. Just one of those bands where I think the guitar is just a central part of it. And then that combined with Kevin Max, which I, for years have thought, man, if there's like a contest, who has the best voice in Christian music, that guy's got to win, So I just thought, the two of those things, wow, how can I say no?
And Dave, he's a little bit quiet.
So he's the one I'm kind of worried about, because he's thinking all the time. You just don't know what he's thinking. Kevin, he says what he's thinking, all the time. No, Dave doesn't. So
he's very creative. I love his guitar work. I love his energy on stage. He seems to bring, talking to him, he's a little bit more of a mellow guy, but then on stage, it's like the beast gets unleashed, and all of a sudden he's got tons of energy and he's jumping around.
But he's a very conservative guy and laid back, super chill, and just, has a heart of gold. He also has a very strong mission mind about him. Him and his wife do stuff in India. And so just the pieces, once you start to dig deeper and peel it back, you really get that God is doing something cool in each of us.
It's crazy. I mean, I just don't know what to think of that, because it's been a great blessing. I mean, bands that we kind of not only grew up listening to, but grew up touring with, as an opening artist, watching, people like Peter Furl or Kevin Max, Audio Adrenaline, and just being like, wow, I've played with all these people, and now I'm going to be part of Audio Adrenaline. It's just kind of surreal. It's just an incredible blessing. I just don't take that for granted.
So you're not only getting a great guitar player who can, shred some of the old stuff, and a great performer, but this is a guy you can depend on, and he's gonna be a great advocate for the ministry moving forward for Audio A.
Dave's crazy. He doesn't like anybody to touch his hair.
Hey, you guys, thanks for watching Audio Adrenaline on BeliefNet. I've had a good time. It's good to be with you. I want to tell you real quick, because my passion's with Hands and Feet Project. If you want to learn more about how you can help, how you can love the least of these, go to handsandfeetproject.org, handsandfeetproject.org, or you can join us, Audio Adrenaline, at audioa.com, and definitely follow us on Facebook. It's pretty entertaining. I've watched it. It's pretty cool. See you next time. Cowboy up.
Grow an afro.